Welcome to a new feature on ONTV called What's Happening in Orion. And this show talks about events that are coming up, things that you may want to put on your calendar to be sure you get in on this exciting event, whatever it is. Today we're talking with Doug Gibson with the Wildwood Music Festival. And Doug, tell us a little bit about this Wildwood Music Festival. Where did you get the idea? How'd you come up with it? What is it?
The Wildwood Music Festival is a local music festival held here in Lake Orion. It's at the Wildwood Amphitheater. That's where we got the name. A few years ago, we found out that the township had built this really wonderful outdoor amphitheater where the old snow sledding hill used to be, right at Orion Township Civic Center Park. And so we went over there and noticed that they had some concerts in the park on Tuesday nights. And we thought, what a great resource to be able to have a full-blown music festival. So we started to talk to some of our friends that had bands, and we heard a common theme. There's some great musicians in Lake Orion and Oxford and the general area, but a lot of them were a little tired of playing in bars and different places, and they loved the idea of an outdoor summer concert. So once we got all this great positive feedback from some of the other musicians, we said, well, why don't we put together a Lake Orion, a local music festival where local musicians and bands can come and play on a great summer day outside and just invite the whole community to come and enjoy the music.
And so you did it last year, is that right? Do I understand that right?
Yes, this is our second annual event. So the first year was last year, 2013, and so we had a lot of growing pains. We learned a lot from our first year. We had 7 local bands and musicians come and play, and it was a beautiful sunny day, thankfully. That's one of the big risks. But it was really a terrific first year. We had about 250 people there from the community in the afternoon, which is when it's usually the busiest. We had some great local vendors come out. We had Buffalo Wild Wings come out. We had Great Harvest Bread and Jets Pizza. And then we also had some other activities and things there, like a big bounce house. And the music was fantastic. Everybody seemed to really enjoy it. And an interesting spin-off came from the Wildwood Music Festival last year. One of the performers was named Jackie Preby. She was a young lady who went to Lake Orion schools, and she had a friend that she wanted to do a fundraiser for. So she was so inspired by the Wildwood Music Festival, she said, well, gosh, I think we could do this. So she spun off, and just 2 months later, she put together a big concert called the Concert for Elena, which invited some local musicians to come and raise money for her friend Elena, and they raised over $20,000. So it's been really fun to see this branch off and see that there's so much interest in Lake Orion for live music.
Okay, so you're doing it here in 2014, when?
So the event is going to be on Saturday, August 9th, right here at the Wildwood Amphitheater at Civic Center Park. The first band is going to take the stage at 10:30 in the morning, and the last one takes the stage at 8 o'clock at night. So this year we've got 12 local bands and performers that are going to play throughout the day. Most of them will have about an hour on stage, a 45-minute set to play their music, and we've got some wonderful food that's going to be there. It's just an event that the whole community is going to love. You won't want to miss it.
So this is an event for the whole family, is that right?
Yes, this is a family-friendly event. There's stuff to do for children. The Orion Arts Center, which is a wonderful place in downtown Lake Orion, the Orion Arts Center is going to come and set up a tent and have free crafts for kids to put together. The School of Rock, which is located in Rochester, they come and they've got a tent that they call the Musical Petting Zoo. It's kind of an open jam tent where you can come. Anybody can walk in and try the drums and the electric guitars and the bass and different things that they bring, and really just have a good time, a hands-on experience. There's also going to be bubbles and Kona ice cream. There's going to be a giant bounce house for the kids. And this year we've added 2 new attractions. There's going to be a 25-foot high rock climbing wall.
Wow.
And there's also going to be one of those super bounce trampolines where they attach the attachments to your waist and you jump on the trampoline super high. And all of those are activities that are completely free for those who come. So it's fun for the whole family.
Okay, so tell me about these bands that you're going to have there. They're local bands?
Yes, I'm glad you asked. We kind of have two different stages, two different phases of the Wildwood Music Festival. There's the morning, and then there's the afternoon and the evening. In the morning, we wanted to create a special opportunity for some of the younger bands in Lake Orion. Over at Lake Orion High School and even some of the middle schools, there's some groups of musicians that have got together that would love to have a place to play. And we're starting to get a few open mic nights around the area, like at 51 North and some of the other local places. But in talking to some of these young bands, they would love an opportunity to come and play a live venue in the summer where they can invite all their friends and all their family and all their fans to be able to enjoy their music. So in the morning of the Wildwood Music Festival, starting at 10:30, we've got a band called the Beta Band. These are kids that have been playing together for about 3 years. They go to Lake Orion High School and some of the local high schools, and they're just dynamite. They really do a great job. So right after that, we're going to have another band called Soup, which is even younger. These are mostly middle school kids that have put together a band. And then we've got a young band called Lone Oak that's done a great job. They've played at 51 North and some of the other locations around town. And then we've also got a young band called We, Three, and She, which is an all-girl band. And these are all kids from Lake Orion High School and the surrounding schools as well. And they've just been dynamite. They've played several of the festivals around Southeast Michigan, and we love hearing them play. So we've got a great lineup of young bands, and we really want to inspire these young musicians to get out and practice their live performance and really enjoy their live music.
Now, are these all rock bands, or are there some country? Tell me more.
Well, that's one thing that's going to be great about Wildwood. On August 9th, the music that you're going to hear is really diversified. We've got a great country band. Brittany Adams and Highway 23 are just a dynamite country band. We have a bluegrass band coming.
Oh, wow.
So you're going to get all their banjos and your favorite bluegrass music called Band of Brothers. They do a super job. Then you have some more folk music and indie rock kind of things with We, Three, and She and some of the other bands. We've got classic rock from bands like California Road Trip and Slide. And then you also have some blues. We've got a really great band to end off the night. At 8 o'clock, this great band takes the stage called the Boa Constrictors, and they are just dynamite. They're one of the best blues bands in the area.
How did you get in touch with all these different bands? I mean, I could understand if you have an interest in country and would know about these, but you are all over the musical, landscape with these bands that you're bringing.
Yeah, it's really eclectic. You know, it didn't take long at all. After we put together the first annual Wildwood Music Festival, we've got our own website. It's www.wildwoodfestival.com, and we started to get people coming to the website. And there we really promoted that if you'd like to audition, to get in contact with us, and they could email and get in contact with me. We also have a Facebook page for the Wildwood Music Festival, and people started to see us on Facebook. And the great thing is, since these are local bands that are playing, a lot of the fans are friends and family members, and they started to go to the website and the Facebook page for the Wildwood Music Festival, and they saw their friends, and they started to let other friends know. And they said, well, gosh, I've got another friend who's got a band, and he'd love to play. So word's really gotten out fast. We really haven't had to look very hard at all. Lots of bands have approached us and said, how can we be a part of the Wildwood Music Festival?
Well, I just think that's marvelous, and I think it's great that you are finding a venue for these young teenagers in, maybe into their 20s.
Yes.
An opportunity to showcase their talents that, maybe we'll put on another show in the fall called Orion's Got Talent. But,
wouldn't that be something?
Yeah. So what else is going on the August 9th, that's Saturday?
You know, there's another wonderful event happening there with us. This year we've partnered with the Lake Orion Lions Club. This is a wonderful organization that raises money and tries to focus on helping different charities that involve those that are blind. like leader dogs for the blind and some of the blind camps and things. So this year we've partnered with the Lions Club, and they're going to have a huge pig roast. They're going to have a big tent where they're going to roast pig all day long and get ready to serve a wonderful pork dinner that night to raise money for the charities that they benefit. They're also going to have a big beer tent and some other refreshments and things there. So we're really excited about that. I can't think of anything better to do on a summer day than to bring my favorite lawn chair, listen to some great local music, and smell that pork barbecue wafted through the air, get a cold drink, and sit down and enjoy the summer day. It's really going to be something special.
It sounds like it's a fantastic event, and it's wonderful how it has grown from what you started with initially, just a little idea, and now we're showcasing these young musicians. You're involving the Lions Club in a fundraiser to support services for those who are visually impaired or blind, such as you mentioned the Leader Dog, which is an organization that the Rochester Lions Club started. And you mentioned the camp. That's something the Lake Orion Lions Club started here in the mid-1980s.
Really?
At the old Franklin Settlement camp that is now a subdivision. And when the property was sold to become a subdivision, the Lions looked for other property, and they found, believe it or not, a Presbyterian camp that was for sale up in Lapeer on Bear Lake. So it's now the Lions Bear Lake camp for the blind and visually impaired. And having been involved with it when it got started here in Lake Orion, and Lionel Casson is the one who started the whole thing. And it's amazing to see these blind youngsters who've never had a camping experience like many kids have growing up, come and have this camp, be with their peers, people who, you know, had the same physical abilities that they did. And then you can understand, I can understand a blind person being able to go swimming and maybe do some other activities, but to shoot a bow and arrow, a blind person shooting a bow and arrow. I mean, it was amazing the type of things that they were able to get these kids to do. And now up at Bear Lake Camp, I've been fortunate enough to be able to visit the camp. They have a rock climbing wall up there and a zip line.
And a zip line.
And a zip line that these kids can go on. And it's just amazing what you can do when you focus on abilities rather than disabilities. And
that's wonderful.
I just think it's a real tribute to you and to the people who work with you that you saw the amphitheater and you saw a need and you were able to put them together. What's the date and time again?
So this is Saturday, August 9th, this year, 2014, right at Civic Center Park at the Wildwood Amphitheater. You know, it's been so fun to put this together. I really believe in giving back. One of the things that motivates me is when I was younger and learned to play the guitar, I had a neighbor that lived across the street, and his name was Steve Jacobs. And this was a very generous person. He had been in some bands in the 60s, and he ended up with all the band equipment. And so he offered to teach me to play guitar completely for free.
Wow.
And so I spent the next 2 or 3 years taking weekly lessons, and he let me borrow his, I didn't even own a guitar at the time. He let me borrow one of his Fender Strat guitars, and boy, I started one note at a time. But it's something that's really been a joy for me my whole life to be able to play guitar. And now I think about putting together Wildwood Music Festival and some of these younger bands in the morning that are going to play. I know that it's going to be an experience that they're going to remember their whole lives and something they'll tell their friends about, you know, that they put together a band when they were in school and they got to play the Wildwood Music Festival, and they'll have their pictures and their memories from that. And I also hope it'll be a great event for the community to come and enjoy, because we've got all the professional bands in the afternoon and the evening. So it can be something that's really enjoyable. But you know, my good friend Steve Jacobs that taught me to play guitar, he passed away from cancer a couple of years ago. And but I'll always remember his kindness and his generosity. And I love the chance to be able to give back and create something.
Well, I think that's fantastic. So this is free. There's no admission charge.
That's right.
It's for the whole family from the toddlers on up and to the grandparents.
That's right.
There's activities, maybe mom and dad want to come and listen to the music, but as you said, I think you said the Orion Art Center is coming.
That's
with
right.
some arts and crafts for kids to do. And there's a bounce house and a rock climbing wall. So there's lots of things to keep those who attention spans might be a rather limited, shall we say, things for that they can get and do and have a good time here also.
That's right. Boy, the kids had a great time last year. Boy, they were out there throwing frisbees and chasing each other around, and the parents really enjoyed the music. It was just a wonderful summer day. So let's just hope we've got another sunny day this year, and boy, I hope, come on out and enjoy the Wildwood Music Festival.
Okay, and again, your website?
The website for more information on the event, or if you want an addition for next year's event, is www.wildwoodfestival.com. There's no music in the name, just wildwoodfestival.com, and we've got all the information, including the names of all the bands that are going to play this year and the times that they're going to start. We listened to the crowd last year. One of the things they asked for is they said, "Hey, Doug, how about a program? Can you put together a program so we can learn a little bit more about the local bands and what time they're going to take the stage?" So we're going to do that this year. We've got t-shirts and we've also got programs this year so people know when their favorite bands are going to take the stage.
Well, great. And you indicated you're coupling this with the Lake Orion Lions Club and their pig roast.
That's right.
And so they will be out there roasting a pig from early in the morning, and people can come and see the pig roasting, and that's something that I think a lot of kids would be interested in.
Oh,
seeing.
I agree.
And smell that, as you said, that beautiful, wonderful aroma there, and work up an appetite. From what I understand, the pig will be ready about 4 o'clock, and that's when the Lions Club will have, the dinners ready to serve for those who are interested. And their beverage tent will open at around noon.
That's
so
right.
that there's something for everybody to come and enjoy. And, the Lions Club has a website also, www.lakeorionlions.org. And people can go on there and click on the event button, and that will take them to the pig roast information. And it's even possible, if they want to guarantee themselves a meal or a sandwich, they can order it right there at a discount. So,
they're not going to want to miss out. It's
You're
sure
right.
going to be good. I'm looking forward to it.
well, very much appreciate you taking time to come in and talk to us about the Wildwood Music Festival.
Thank you, Joanne.
Again, what's the date and time?
Saturday, August 9th. Mark your calendars. Saturday, August 9th. The first band takes the stage at 10:30. It's going to be a fun day, the whole day, and you won't want to miss out. Bring your favorite lawn chair, and we'll see you there.
Okay, very good. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Well, I hope you've enjoyed this brief picture of what's happening in Orion Township coming up again Saturday, August the 9th, starting at 10:30 with the bands and going all the way till their last note sounds around 9 o'clock, with food available and a great time, free admission. So come, bring the family, invite your friends and relatives and neighbors to join you at the Wildwood Music Festival and Lions Club Pig Roast. And again, that's Saturday, August the 9th at Orion Civic Center Park. Just watch for the signs. There will be signs directing you how to get to Wildwood. Okay. Thank you again.
You're welcome, Joanne.